Everyone, and welcome back to the Mindful Living, the show where we explore the journey to inner peace, vibrant health, and lasting transformation. Today's episode is about rewriting your life script and breaking free from limiting beliefs that hold you back from vibrant health, harmonious relationships, and the prosperity you desire. Yeah, too many words, but if I talk about in single word, holistic health and wellness. Many of us unknowingly live in cycles of self sabotage, carrying beliefs and stories that were handed up to us. But the good news is we can change them. And joining us today is someone who has lived this very transformation firsthand and has dedicated his life to teaching others how to do the same. Dr. Alain Salas. Now, listeners, he is number one Amazon best-selling author, a chiropractic physician, and the creator of the mind clearing system, body clearing system, and goal and success clearing system. Over the past 28 years, he has helped more than 4,000 clients in the US and Europe rewrite their own life scripts. And he's here to share his life journey and tools with us. So, Dr. Salas, thank you so much for being here. And I'm so excited to dive into this important topic with you.
Yeah, should I say bonjour, Sana? Originally, I'm from the south of France. I've got a tiny accent, as you may hear.
Yeah. Bonjour, bonjour.
Anyway, it's really my pleasure to be here, definitely.
Great, Dr. Salas. So let's start with your personal story first. You have been through such a transformative journey from thriving to hitting rock bottom and then rising again. What was the pivotal moment when you realized your limiting beliefs were at the root of your struggles?
Well, I don't know if there was really a pivotal moment, but
Mhm,
more like a realization. Like a
mhm,
realization, when you basically to make a little summary of my life, I was living on my sailboat and renting boat in south of France. I had a calling, so I
mhm.
sold my boat rental business, and I moved to the US, and I could barely speak English. Some people will argue that even now, I may have some trouble. But anyway, so I've been the lucky one because, my mission of life has been given to me, right? And my calling, I saw myself
Mhm,
helping people health-wise.
mhm,
So I had my family and the people that I know, they were not involved in any shape or form with healing. But I decided just to sell everything and literally, get my backpack and come to the US to become a chiropractor. Right? I like the
mhm,
philosophy of it. I truly believe on the ability to heal ourselves by ourselves. And
mhm,
so this has been my journey and along the journey. So imagine, you in America and you living American dream, right? You've got
mhm,
beautiful house in the best neighborhood. I've got a beautiful family. I met actually a French woman in a bar in Kansas City, and we got married, and we had that wonderful Maya, right? And now
mhm,
she's 20 years old. Next thing you know, I was working like crazy, because I was thinking I was doing the right thing. I was living my passion, and so everything was so cool for me, right? I was really resonating with what I was doing, but the problem I was overworking, right?
mhm,
And in my head, it was always work, 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 right? And so after, it just can't catch back to you. And so what happened, I was so focused on work that even though I was physically present with my family, I was not emotionally, mentally. And so, just to make a long story short, I went from living my patient, making pretty good money, helping
mhm,
my patient, to divorce, leaving my office, and got diagnosed with colon cancer. So that this experience was such a a change of life in so many different levels in my prosperity because of my job. I thought I was doing everything right and teaching my patient how to live like a healthy life. And here we are. I got diagnosed with colon cancer, and after I got divorced because, I was too focused on my job. My life was not balanced, right? And so I ended up living in my office, and I thought, oh, you know what? It's only for a few months, right? The time for me to get back on my feet because my business was failing too. My mind was so overwhelmed, I was so under stress, right? That everything went down. And so basically, what happened, I ended up divorcing. Like I told
Mhm.
you, I got really sick. And in my job, I said, okay, what am I doing? I mean, I'm getting all the things that I know that are right, but I was helping only the chemical stress. Oh yeah, I had 4 employees, I had like I was seeing 250 patients a week, I mean, this was, but yet I was missing so many different parts. I was missing that we are physical being, we are emotional being, we are chemical being, our internal chemistry, how it works or it doesn't work. We are spiritual and mental being. And yet I was helping people, only at the chemical level, getting a healthy diet, finding out what kind of food sensitivity they had. And it was making a big difference for some people. But yet, I still had to discover what I discovered for myself. That it's important if you want to talk about stress and helping a human being as a whole, you need to be able to assess and address the physical aspect of a stress, the
Mhm.
chemical aspect of a stress, which is the internal chemistry, the emotional and the mental aspect of a stress. Does it make sense to you, Sana?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's
Yeah,
amazing. Mhm.
and so that realization that helped me to get back on my feet. Literally, sometimes, Sana, I feel like they say about the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? I went so low I couldn't I couldn't go lower than that. And yet I rise from it, because I just wanted to find out why this is happening to me. I'm not the only one. I'm sure that this happened, but so drastically. And so I just started to realize the first thing that I told you, that we're physical, chemical, and emotional human being. And at the same time, we need to find out what's causing the stress at the emotional level, at the
Mhm.
chemical, and at the physical level. But we need also to be able to address it. Because here's the thing, there's some simple truth, but sometimes are forgotten. And one of them is when you've got a problem in life, Sana, and that problem can be anything, can be a health problem, can be a relationship problem, can be a prosperity problem. You need absolutely only two things. If you
Mhm.
know how to resolve your problem, you need absolutely two things. Number one, you need to find what's causing your problem, right?
Correct.
Because if you don't know what's causing your problem, how can you resolve it? That's not possible. What do I mean by resolving a problem? It means you've got a problem, there's no more problem, and we're done. We're moving on. It's like healing. For example, you heal from a disease, you heal from a mental health issue, you heal from a physical ailment, whatever it is, you treat it, you're done with it. You don't even have to take nutrient for it. You should be done with it. That's what in my book True Healing is about, or True Transformation about. And of course, growth is different because it's never stop. It's a journey, right? But
Yeah.
healing, that's in my book, that's what it is. So when you find out what's causing the problem and you know how to fix it, this is it.
Mm.
There's no more problem, right?
Yeah. Right.
This is not complicated. This is very simple. I truly believe that life is meant to be simple, not complicated,
Not
right?
go.
Don't you agree with me?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. Life was never meant to be so complicated. It was, we all try to make it simple, but when there is no clarity and we don't understand the
Exactly.
root cause, somehow we tend to make it complicated.
Exactly. And that's why the technique that I created, it's called the mind clearing. Clearing what? Clarity, right? When you've got clarity, everything is easy. You know what's causing your problem and you know how to solve it. Or if you don't know, you will find out. You see,
Mhm.
clarity is everything. Because when you've got the clarity after, you will have a focus, right? And so anyway, so I went to, having all those things, and now I remarried. I've got an 8 years old Amir.
Wow.
I've got so relationship totally different. You know,
Uh,
I'm happily divorced in a way that I still have a relationship, with my ex-wife or my daughter Maya. We get along
Mhm.
very well. As far as disease, cancer is gone, and the business is totally. I practice totally differently, and I
Mhm.
always knew, Sana. Always when I went, because we're talking about years of hardship, I always knew that this will be a gift for me and my patients. Always, this will be a gift. But I have to say, sometimes I say, come on, God, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take to see the light, That I never been what we call victim mode, right? And saying, why me? Because if you're in a victim mode, well, there's no way you can find solution. You're going to blame on somebody else. I mean, it's so easy to blame and not looking at the man in the mirror, right? And so anyway, so I found out why this is all happening and all at once, right? It has to be a reason. And so I get involved with, learning some emotional technique, because
Mhm.
you understand that there's lots of emotion. Why my business went down is because my head was like overthinking, and I become depressed and then didn't want to do anything anymore. I lost my passion, which was an amazing thing for me even to comprehend. It's a
Mhm.
God given gift, and I lost it, Sana. That was crazy. And so anyway, I started to learn more and more things, and things started to come to me out of the blue treating patients. And I started to do things that I couldn't truly understand. I just trusted and went with it and flow with it. Next thing you know, I was able to help the mind of my patient, right? Because when we talk mind body or body and mind, we all connected. And usually we talk about mind, but do we really know how the mind works?
Mhm.
Do we really know that there's actually, we live in two different worlds, Sana? We live what we call in the inner world and the outer world.
The world.
What does it mean? Well, the inner world is what we call the conscious mind. So it's like your self identity, if you want, who you think you are,
Mhm.
right? What they call also the ego, right? And so what you feel, what you think, the action you take, that's what you call you or I am, right? That's what
Mhm.
your conscious mind, right? And there's the inner world, but it's called the subconscious mind, which is hidden. You're not aware of it. And the subconscious mind is more designed, is highly programmable, and you
Mhm.
record all the data, all your life from when you start to have a brain, let's say conception maybe, but a little bit after, like after 3 months in the womb, and
Mhm.
record everything that happened to your life. Every
Mhm.
single thing is recorded on the subconscious mind.
Exactly.
So when you start to read, and even if everybody is using Google now, and so you
Mhm.
Google it, you say, okay, well, how many percent is your conscious mind? How many percent is your subconscious mind? Do you have any idea what is the ratio of conscious mind and subconscious mind?
No, I'm afraid I don't have the idea.
Yeah, and this is so basic, and this should be taught in school.
Yeah.
Second grader, my son is a second grader. He knows that already. He knows what energy is, but not because of the school system, right? Because I'm teaching him. So,
Exactly.
you guys, if you are standing up, you better sitting down
Mhm.
because everything. who you think you are, which is your conscious mind, it's 5 to 10% of your mind. Meaning that everything you're not aware, it's 90% of your mind.
That is
And how
great.
powerful it is? Well, your subconscious, yeah, it's crazy. And yes, we focus only on what, 5 or 10% of brain power, our mind power. When you've got a problem with a mental disease,
Mm-hmm.
what the doctor is telling you? Well, go to see a psychologist. You're going to do self-talk therapy. Self-talk therapy is about talking about what? What you're aware of, which is your conscious mind. So potentially, how much it can help you, Sana?
Mm.
5 or 10% of your mind. So my question to you, do you want to be helped with 100% of your mind power or your brain power, or only 5 or 10% of your mind power? Using
Yep.
only 10% of your mind power. That's pretty obvious answer, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think 100, obviously, 100% is too far fetched to think about. But, looking at the percentage, I think at least the entire 10% or maybe more than that, if I'm able to unlock my subconscious, even tap into um 10% of that 90% of my subconscious mind, I think it can really, really help me. And then step by step, maybe I can work on it.
Yeah. So the problem is like how does the subconscious mind work? Well, it's just, for example, the speed of of the conscious mind is we process 11 bits per second.
Mhm.
The subconscious mind process 11 million bits per second.
Wow.
So it's much more powerful because it has to record everything. Our skills like driving, they are stored in the subconscious mind. And guess what, Sana?
Mhm.
Our limiting belief and all our program are stored in the subconscious mind. So now you're going to tell me that how does it work, right? Well, let
Yep.
me give you an example. Let's pretend there's a little girl that
Mhm.
see her dad, but he's an alcoholic and come back every single night drunk and beat up her mom.
Okay.
So what do you think that little girl, I'm asking you, Sana, what do you think that little girl, when she grew up, what kind of
Mm.
romantic relationship she's going to be involved with?
I think, first of all, she'll have a high sense of judgment towards, any kind of relationship towards any male, because, subconsciously in her mind, it is stored that my father behaved with my mother like that, and probably I'm also going to have the same experience. So it will really, really hinder
Exactly.
her ability to explore even the world of relationships.
So yes, but if she has, most of them will have a relationship, and I will tell you, from my experience of 28 years, right, training all those people, usually what happens, especially with women, but what's going to happen? The mind's going to be programmed. Actually, the subconscious mind, more precisely, that's going to be the subconscious mind, and the program is going to be men are predator
Yeah, better.
and women are prey.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So the subconscious mind, I believe, like, how come she's gonna attract that person? Right? She's gonna say consciously, she's gonna say, "Hey, you, um, are you gonna beat me up? Let's have a partnership like that. You can, beat me up all the time." No, of course, it's not gonna happen. I believe our subconscious mind are all connected with each other, and the subconscious mind is gonna tell us subconsciously, "Hey, this guy is ready to dance with you. He's ready to be your predator. And
Mhm.
like that, you can play the role of a prey." So it's nobody's fault. Because if you ask the little girl that grew up and you ask her, "Hey, do you want to get beat up like your mom?" What she's going to say? She's going to say, "No, I don't want that." But the subconscious programming is there. So she cannot help it. You were mentioning when you introduced me about the self-sabotage. That's what self-sabotage are about.
Exactly.
Those are programs that they are in the subconscious mind, and we call that limiting belief. Does it make sense to you?
Absolutely. Very well explained, Dr. Allen. Very well explained.
Thank you. And so what happened, you've got those limiting belief. And so there's two categories of limiting belief. Like I told you with that little girl, what's happening with her, it's like it's repetitive, right? Every night the dad comes, beat up the mom because he's got a problem with alcohol, right? And there's also what we call PTSDs. Like let's say I'm a military man, and I don't have to be a military man, but usually people identify with that. And I'm in US military, and I'm in Iraq, and I pull the trigger, and by accident, I kill my best friend. So I'm discharged. I'm come back to the US, and like I don't know if you have seen those movies, like the Rambo movies,
Oh, yes.
and he's like a warrior, right? And so he just wake up. I'm sorry, sweetie.
Yeah, I've seen that movie, Warrior. It's a beautiful one.
Yeah. So remember, he just wake up and see himself like sweating like crazy
Yeah.
and remembering the abuse he had or the torture he had when he was in a camp, by in a war camp, right? Well, but the same thing. The problem is like there's still a piece of me, like when I kill my best friend, there's still, I call that the past you. It's like a piece of your soul that is still stuck in the past. And you're reliving that loop again and again and again subconsciously. And that loop is going to make you feel guilty, it's going to make you feel whatever negative feeling you're going to have. And that's going to reflect into your conscious life, into your daily life, into the screen of life. And that's why those people who's got PTSD with the military specifically, their health goes down, relationship goes down, and the prosperity goes down, and they can be homeless. So in summary, you've got two ways you can get those limiting beliefs. And don't get me wrong, there's some what we call empowering belief. Meaning what? Meaning some program can be positive, can be there to help you, right? For example, if you've got a good work ethic because you got that from your dad or your mom, right? That can be a positive. It's not if it's not too extreme, right? It's always balance in life, right? If it's not too extreme, it's fine. It's really great. But it's our limiting belief that's holding us back and creating the self-sabotage that you were talking about. And not only that, because if you look at the mind, how it works, so you've got the limiting belief. And if you go on my website, which is called themindclearing.com, if you go on my website, imagine a triangle. And at the center of the triangle, you've got limiting belief, right? That's where it starts. That's what triggers everything. And after on top, you've got negative thought. On the right corner, you've got limiting belief. Let's see. Let's pretend my dad told me I'm a loser, right? So the negative thought's going to be what? I'm a loser, right?
Yeah.
And after I'm going to feel like a loser, that's going to be the overwhelming emotion. And after, guess what? I'm going to behave like a loser. And what kind of outcome I'm going to get? Loser outcome, right? And after I've got loser outcome, I'm going to feel even more like a loser. And I'm going to say, yeah, I knew it. I'm a loser, right? And we are caught up in that loop that are reinforcing that those limiting belief. So obviously, let's imagine, Sana, we can find a way to number one, delete those limiting beliefs. To number two, download empowering belief. And number three, to create vibrant health, harmonious relationship, and sort of prosperity. Because all those emotion and negative thoughts, they will impact your life as a whole.
Correct.
That can impact your health, that can impact also your relationship, and that can impact also your prosperity. What do I mean by prosperity? It means your professional, right? Your professional life. What do you want to do, Sana? What do you want to do? You want to remember that's number one, you want to delete. Number two, You want to download empowering belief, like always, I'm a winner. Let's see. Some people will say I'm a winner. Okay, why not? I don't like that too much, but why not? So I'm a winner. That's the empowering belief. So no matter what happened to me, I can make my way through, right? So I'm a winner. So you're gonna think I'm a winner. That's the positive thought. The supportive emotion, you're gonna feel like a winner, unstoppable. You can achieve everything in life, right? And so you're gonna behave like a winner, right? And so you're going to say, oh, yeah, look, I've got the result. The outcome is going to be winning outcome. That's going to reinforce your emotion that, oh, yeah, I really feel like a winner. And you're going to think I'm a winner. And that empowering belief now that that's working for you.
So,
So
Dr.
basically, the problem, go ahead.
Yeah, so Dr. Salas, considering the time constraint, because
So,
of our show, so I'm really sorry to cut you off, but of course, I think there couldn't be a better masterclass in understanding how what's the root cause of limiting beliefs or
oh, yeah.
self-sabotaging thoughts. But as you mentioned about your website and the blueprint there, so once again, if our listeners, for anyone interested in exploring your resources, if they wish to learn more, how they can do that.
Yeah. And there's actually, I've got an offer if it's okay.
Oh, okay.
If you want to learn, because you can learn the mind clearing for yourself. This is designed for lay people. This is designed also for coaches and health professionals. We want obviously to create, like I say, vibrant health, harmonious relationship, and so sought after prosperity for themselves and their clients. So the goal, it's like, for example, if you got, because we didn't talk about, I mean, this is really scratching the surface.
I know, I
But
know.
we can apply for pain. Yeah, we can apply for pain. I treat pain in 1-2 visit maximum, and it's gone just by doing that, following that 3 steps. So that's what we call the body clearing, right? To be able to, this is applying for everything in life. When you've got, I think it's Tesla, Nikola Tesla, that they say if you want to find the secret of universe, you need to think about energy, vibration, and frequency. And so that's what those thoughts are about. Those thoughts are real force. They are real energy and frequency. And when you can control them, well, you can change your perception of reality. And you can manifest in the screen of life whatever you want to.
Lovely, lovely. Well, we have all the details in the show notes. And Dr. Salas, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. I think you're absolutely right. We have barely scratched the surface, but I think your journey and the powerful tools you have developed have shown us that we are not stuck in the scripts we were given. We have the power to rewrite them. So thank you so much.
Yes, I believe it's our birthright. And that's what this technique was given. And now it needs to be passed on and as many people as possible. Imagine if you can help I don't know, if your loved ones, and you can help them to take care of their pain, and be able to be pain free. What a gift.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect. Great. So, thank you to all of our listeners as well for tuning into the Mindful Living. Until next time, this is your host, Sana, reminding you to stay present, stay open, and keep rewriting your life story. Thank you.